Make yourself at home. Have a seat.
Yes. Do you mind if would you give me a pillow and a blanket, please?
Maybe later. Okay?
Yes.
He's a little tired. T.C.Boyle, Josef Liefers, this is your audience, your Berlin audience.
Thank you, Marion. I take it very personally. You're my audience. I'm going to bring you all back on the airplane to California with me next week. Is that okay?
You have to take your microphone.
Oh, yes.
So, you've been to Cologne, to Düsseldorf, to
Hamburg.
Little town. How's the tour going so far?
We are having a delightful time. First of all, every audience is brilliant. They love us, we love them, and it's just so easy.
Ich wollte noch kurz sagen, wenn das für euch okay ist, dass wir hier Englisch reden, weil Toms Deutsch ist perfekt, aber er tut so, als wäre es nicht. Nein, er versteht sonst nichts. Ist das in Ordnung für alle, wenn wir hier Englisch gerade brechen? Und, ja?
Wir werden versuchen, eine gute Mischung hinzukriegen. Sie sind mit dem Zug gefahren, du nicht, du bist geflogen?
Ja, ich bin geflogen, weil ich bin hier der Star. Nein, ich hatte noch zu tun in Berlin, deswegen bin ich geflogen. Ansonsten sind wir im Zug gefahren und das war sehr schön.
Ja, du weißt es gar nicht. You did take the plane through Germany. How did you like it?
I'm sorry, Marion, what?
No, you did take the train to...
Oh, the train, we always take the train through Germany. I love to travel on the train because, as we all know, the airplane gets us where we want to go, but in fact, it is a great, howling, stinking death trap full of strangers, and we don't like that.
Do you still like each other after all?
We love each other, and we're having a great time. In fact, Jan is a brilliant actor, and I love the way we do it, and the way we will be doing it for you tonight is we will have consecutive portions in English and in German. And I enjoy that we both get to stand and make it a show rather than some kind of dull academic evening.
Du hast ihn ja gerade in seinem Haus in Santa Barbara besucht. He just visited you in Santa Barbara. I've heard you've drunken all the time, you both. Ich habe gehört, du warst die ganze Zeit nur besoffen.
We started with tea and ended with TC. Was any of these,
I have a wine cellar with several thousand bottles of wine, and there was only 2 left after Josef left.
So it fits. The German paper said you both fit like gin and tonic, so who's the tonic, who's the gin?
That was exactly what Josef asked me, and I deferred to him. Of course, he's the gin and I'm the tonic, but he said that I was the gin and he was the tonic. So we'll have to come up with a new mixture. I think flaming shots of 151 combined in one glass. That is what we are.
Okay, gut. Das verstanden, ja, ne? Gin and tonic, und meint eben 50-50. Concerning alcohol, no. We were talking about alcohol, now let's talk about sex. Dr. Sex?
They go together, don't they?
They
alcohol
go
and sex, yes.
Sure. Alfred Kinsey, how did you come up with the idea to write a novel about this man? Ich frage ihn, Dr. Kinsey, berühmter Mann, wie er überhaupt auf die Idee gekommen ist, ein Buch über ihn zu schreiben.
Well, those of you who remember the distant past of 2 years ago, when I was last in Germany, I was touring with Drop City, my novel about the hippie times, and Back to the Earth movement, and this included the notion of free love, which for me has gotten rather expensive over the years, but that's neither here nor there. And I felt that it would be interesting to go back again in history, 30 years beyond that, to see where in America we were getting this notion of opening up sexually in my time. Where is it coming from? And Kinsey seemed the natural for me. Also, those of you who remember Coleman and Melville, about my other Dr. K, Dr. Kellogg, he too was a great bizarre figure from the past, and I just love to present you with these disgusting, horrific stories from the past because they amuse me.
Disgusting? Eklige stories?
Nah, I'm only kidding.
Okay.
But that's for them to judge. I mean, Last night in Dusseldorf, when of course the Dusseldorfians I don't think have quite the fortitude that you Berliners have, but anyway, I noticed a lot of people vomiting during the performance.
But on the other hand, in the end of the show, remember, we had to sign underwear a lot.
That's true. And I've never, this has happened to me even before I wrote about sex. I'd be on stage, perfectly behaving myself, and suddenly some woman's underwear would come into my face. And what does this mean?
So women seem to be pretty important for your books, right?
For me?
Yeah.
Yes, and in fact, you know, Dr. Kinsey, by the way, was bisexual. And the first interview I did for this book in America was with a homosexual magazine. He's a great hero of the homosexual world, and he should be, because he helped to normalize relations and say that so many people engage in this activity. How can you say it's abnormal? At any rate, the editor wanted to know why there were more heterosexual sex scenes and that they were sexier. And I had to admit, well, I'm heterosexual, and that interests me a little bit more, but in the interest of writing a fair novel, I also had my first homosexual sex scenes.
I think also that women are important in any way. A lot of good things were triggered by the unleash of a woman. Would you agree? And also I think that women are the key to any kind of success in the world, whatever you start doing. Yeah, I think so. Lasst euch doch nicht so einschüchtern.
Yeah, but there are only 3 women in the audience tonight. That's why you're not getting applause. I had a question from an interviewer today or yesterday, on the train coming up here. If you could go back into any period in history, where would you go? And I thought for a minute, and I said, well, I'd go back to when I was 6 months old, because I was real close to my mom then, and I didn't have to pay taxes.
This was a new one.
Jan, du hast die deutsche Übersetzung gelesen, hast also den Roman auch zum Hörbuch gemacht. War dir Kinsey vorher ein Begriff? Kanntest du den?
Wie viele Leute, die, wenn sie Kinsey hören, do you mind if I answer? You know my answers anyway. Ich sage immer erstmal McKinsey. McKinsey. Ja. Wenn Sie Kinsey hören, McKinsey, das hat miteinander nichts zu tun. Das eine ist ein Wirtschaftsberatungsunternehmen und das andere ist unser guter Alfred. Und ja, das muss ich dazu sagen. Das Buch ist, ich hatte es gelesen, bevor ich Tom besucht habe in Santa Barbara und gesehen habe, wie nett er es da hat und wie nett er da lebt. Ja, aber very nice place in Santa Barbara and so on. Okay. Ich hatte es schon eingelesen und war sehr überrascht von der tollen Übersetzung. Das muss ich jetzt auch mal sagen. Also man muss ein Buch nicht unbedingt in Englisch lesen, wenn die Übersetzung gut ist. Diese Übersetzung ist sehr gut, hat sehr viel Musik, sehr viel Rhythmus. Und das ist das Wichtige auch beim Lesen und besonders beim Einlesen. Und man merkt einfach sofort, wenn sowas nicht so richtig hinhaut, weil es dann stolpert. Dieses Buch stolpert nicht, auch auf Deutsch nicht. Und Musik spielt eine große Rolle, auch in Toms Leben. I have learned, this was one of the first things that I've learned when I met him in Santa Barbara. You were a musician earlier, and yes. You played in a band named Little Willie and the Disappointments, is that true?
I was the disappointment part, yes.
Nein, also